Hi, this is Dodger, and you're... Oof, yep. Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go!
Guys, the new season has officially started. We've already got Attack on Titan and Boku no Hero out. I'm so excited. Definitely doing a first impression of this season. So if you're hoping that I'm going to touch on any of that in this video, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it all for the first impressions video. And for now, I just want y'all to know it's begun. So go and start watching stuff, because I feel like this season is going to be suitably epic. But as for news and happenings within the industry and the community, of course, we had some I was gonna use the word stellar. I don't know that that's the right word. We had a lot of anime April Fool's goofs, but what that always winds up being is, hey, we took all these characters from an anime that's in this genre, but then we were like, what if it was in this genre? So, for example, we had all of the boys from Bungo Stray Dogs in an editorial where it looked like they were going to be in an anime about just like cute boys in high school doing their thing. There was a Dragon Ball one where it was like, what if all of the Dragon Ball characters had no one else to fight and so they had to work in an office, which I would be cool with. Straight up, I think that some of my favorite Dragon Ball moments are the moments where it's like, yeah, I mean, they've got superpowers and whatever, but like, they also have families and have to do normal stuff. Like, here's an entire episode where Piccolo learns how to drive. Like just weird stuff like that. I always love those. So I think that it's kind of funny that that was their April Fool's. It was like, oh, yep, and now they did it all. So they're gonna work at an office. Because my initial response was, yes, I would watch that show immediately. So if you saw any funny or maybe not so funny April Fool's jokes that had to do with anime, tell us about it in the comment section, because I saw some snippets of plenty. There was a lot going around. Bkub Okawa made a new post saying that there was a serious announcement afoot. If you don't know who Bkub Okawa is, you do. They do this stuff. Like all of the weird stuff that looks like this, that's Bkub Okawa. They're basically like a self-proclaimed bad comic artist, which is hilarious to me. They're just like, yeah, I don't know, I'm garbage. I just make garbage stuff. And everybody's like, I don't know, it's like kind of cute. But again, they made a post saying, there's a serious announcement afoot. Here's some redacted information. Okawa's comic is called Pop Team Epic, and a lot of people are thinking, hey, maybe this serious announcement, which kind of doesn't really exist in the world of Okawa. Everybody's like, what does a serious announcement mean when it comes to Pop Team Epic, right? So a lot of people are saying maybe this is an announcement of a series of shorts, right? Like maybe not a full-on anime, but like a short form anime, which would work perfectly for it. Or maybe it's a goof, because that would be perfectly in sync with the way that they work. Maybe it's a goof and there is no serious announcement and they're just gonna leave us hanging literally forever. I also saw a thing, I think that they were doing a weird crossover with Bkub Okawa and Gintama. I think that was happening as well, where they were having Bkub Okawa design merchandise for Gintama because of this whole like weird, because like Gintama is so self-referential and focuses so much on just anime culture in general. And I think because Bkub Okawa is so kind of part of that world as well, just like, yeah, I make comics, but they're garbage. They just like started to work together. I don't know, it's interesting seeing this art around for so long, and now you're starting to see it kind of industrialized, seeing it, become part of the machine, so to speak. So if they do get an anime, that'll be really interesting to see how it, progresses, and whether or not, I guess when somebody is super weird and makes something super weird, I always wonder how it's going to translate once there are more cogs in the work, People always talk about like, oh, I wrote a script and then the script got turned into a movie, but the movie was completely not what I wanted. Whether or not they'll give Okawa enough power, I guess, to make the exact thing that they want. But again, we don't even know. We don't even know if it's going to be an anime. That's just what pretty much everybody is assuming this announcement is going to be, but It's hard to say. The makers of Attack on Titan have issued an apology for taking so long getting the second season to our eyeballs. Except the apology is kind of hilarious because the basic format of it is, I'm so sorry that we inconvenienced all of you so much, which I find laughable because, I mean, what did we have to do except like sit and whine? And then the second half is, but I hope you'll still watch it anyway. Use hashtag Shingeki while you're watching on all the social medias. I'm like, you guys aren't sorry. You guys aren't sorry at all. Not that I think you need to be sorry necessarily. There's only one episode out and there's already all kinds of drama about it. Like the one thing that I keep hearing constantly is, oh my God, there are spoilers in the ending theme. Like if you watch the ending credits, there's spoilers in it. But everybody who hasn't read the manga didn't know that there were spoilers. Like, there are tons of people who are watching it and being like, I didn't know there were any spoilers in there, but now that I'm looking for them, I can tell there are spoilers in there. So now that I've been that person who's informed all of you that there are spoilers in the ending credits, maybe don't watch them because you're gonna, even subconsciously, you're gonna be looking for them now. The other big thing is that it's being widely speculated that this second season will also only have 12 episodes. Everybody's very up in arms about that. How dare they make us wait so long and we only get 12 episodes out of it. I expected at least 24 for all of this struggle that I've been through. And on one hand, I'm going, well, they are working on other shows, right? They've got Attack on Trains, Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, Attack on Trains. I believe that they're the ones who are working on Ancient Magus Bride. So they've got like other big projects that they're doing, and I'm delighted for them that Kabaneri did as well as it did. We really enjoyed that show. But on the other hand, I'm going, Attack on Titan is like your moneymaker, man. Like, if you're gonna make people wait that long for a second season, I don't know why you're still only doing 12 episodes. Again, I don't think that it's like a super big deal. I'm just, from a business standpoint, I'm confused. I am very happy for your success though. I'm so glad that that studio is doing well. They put out fantastic work. And the first episode of Attack on Titan I thought was really good. It had sort of the feel of, oh, I said that I wasn't gonna do this. It had the feel of like everything was bumped up to 11, you know, because it was like the first episode of the second season and blah, and just like everything was big, right? But yeah, I'm just glad that the studio's doing well because they do create really good anime. But you know, with very popular anime comes very opinionated people. Oh my God, guys, remember Attack on High School? I do. More than any other community I have ever seen in my life, the anime community loves surveys. Loves them. I feel like almost every time I make an anime news episode, I could stand here and be like, all right guys, every single topic for today is a different survey that people in Japan took. like for real. Whether it's who's the dreamiest girl in all of manga, or it's what anime made you cry the most. Like, we just love taking those surveys. We love talking about anime in general and getting our opinions out there. Again, referencing the last topic. So there was a survey that came out that made me laugh a little bit, so I wanted to talk about it because why not? The basic topic is, what's a manga that took so long that you gave up? This is like such a frequent topic with people, I think. I feel like everybody in the community, if you've stuck with a really long-running manga, it's like impressive. Like, oh dang, I stopped way back in chapter 600. Like, good going. So I'm just gonna read that list to you. And if you agree with any of it, you know what to do in the comments. Okay, at number 10, we have Futari Ecchi. At number 9, we have Naruto. I know, Naruto's only number 9. What could the rest possibly be? At number 8, we have Gintama. 7 is Oishinbo. 6 is Crest of the Royal Family. Number 5 is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Number 4 is Bleach. Number 3 is Kochikame. Number 2 is Conan, Detective Conan. And number 1 is One Piece. It is also worth saying that Kochikame has 200 volumes and is the Guinness World Record holder for the most manga volumes in publication. But I don't think anybody was surprised to see Conan and One Piece at the top. But here's the thing is I think that this kind of a survey is a little misrepresentative, only because I think the implication there is I gave up because I didn't want to read it anymore. But I think there are multiple reasons for this being the case, right? Like for me, I can say, I really love Naruto. Like when I think about Naruto, I get all of the nostalgia feels. I love all of the characters. I love the world, right? Like I was super, super into Naruto. The problem is that I also needed to go to school, right? And Naruto was still going when I was in college. So I wound up falling really far behind. And if you fall behind enough, it's really hard to like get up the gumption to catch up. So in that situation, it's not necessarily like I don't like it. It feels like a job to have to catch up to where it's at now because I needed to prioritize other things in my life. So while I really like this survey because, you know, we can all look at it and be like, oh man, those mangas sure are long, huh? We thought Naruto was never gonna end and then he had a frickin' kid. There's also like a weird sadness that comes along with it of, but I want to finish it. I didn't want to give up on you, Bleach. You just like went into a weird arc and I needed to go to science class. And as a final bit of news, it has been confirmed that One Punch Man Season 2 is in production. We have no idea how far along it's in production. We have no idea when it's gonna come out. We just know that it is existing. It is currently being formed in the womb of its production company, which I think a lot of us are very excited about. Like, it's just nice to know that it is currently being constructed into being. And I know that on this show in the past, I've I've made statements that I think have sounded like One Punch Man is overrated, which I don't think at all. I would never in a million years say that, right? Because I really, really do love One Punch Man as a person who loves just battle anime and manga in general. I find it to be just so perfect. Like, such a spoof on the genre while being a perfect example of the genre. It's just this cross-section that's fantastic to watch for me. And the manga is also super great. So I'm very, very excited for season 2. I don't want anybody to ever think that like I don't love One Punch Man, because I really do, and I'm glad that it's been like a weird gateway anime for a lot of people, because I don't think that any of us really necessarily expected that. We all know that it's great, but we're also coming from a place of, you know, like a very high baseline of anime. And there are people that I know who have watched it and loved it that don't watch anime at all. So it's really accessible in a strange way that I didn't know it would be. But to know that season 2 is on the way is very comforting. I can't wait to watch it, and I can't wait for more details and find out when we get to have it in our loving arms. And as a cool side note, the team has said that they would really love not only to be making cool stuff for Japanese audiences, but for audiences all around the world. And I think that they're achieving that right now. And for my recommendation today, guys, it is the 20th anniversary for Utena. If you want to watch something that is such a weird fever dream, like Revolutionary Girl Utena is so weird. It's just like a bizarre thing to watch, but I love it. There's a part of me that will always love Utena if you're somebody who watched it when you were much younger, like I did, and just hearing about it is making you go, God, I want to rewatch that, then you should probably check it out. If you've never checked it out before, you're in for a ride, bud. But anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to watch my streams, you can find them at twitch.tv/dexbonus, or you can watch the VODs on youtube.com/dexteritybonus. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this is your first video you've ever watched of mine, I hope that you loved it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button if you think that I deserved it, and otherwise I will see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye-bye. Mwah. I didn't want to give up on you, Bleach!